If you're not building in public right now, you need to watch this video. In this video, we're going to be going over Gus's strategy. Gus, one of the producers at Starter Story, he's been building an app, and we're going to be going over his strategy over the last couple of weeks of building in public. He's been posting a bunch of stuff, building his app, and through a couple different posts and a way of thinking about how to market his app, he's gotten hundreds of followers, tens of thousands of impressions, and even made some sales on his app by this pretty simple strategy that he's just been doing over the last couple of weeks. A couple of months ago, we did our video that I'll put up right here, which is why aren't you building in public, which we kind of went over this strategy. What's really cool is Gus has been in the trenches testing out this strategy, and it works. So that's what we're going to be going over today. We're going to be going over specific posts, why they worked, how many impressions they got, how many sales has led to his app. And I'm really excited to do this. All right. Without further ado, this is the Starter Story podcast. I'm excited to be here. Gus, break it down. Tell me about what's been going on with your app.
It's funny to be talking about something that's, I don't want to say it's working, but I haven't gotten this many impressions or follows or anything like that. Not that it's just about those things, but I haven't had that experience pretty much ever before. And I probably before this would have told you it doesn't work, or that, all these people have this following because of some secret. But I think that's just not the case, or I don't think that's the case anymore.
I've been following these posts that you've been doing, and this stuff is no joke. You're getting hundreds, hundreds of comments on some of these posts. You're directly talking about this app that you're building. I mean, how does it feel to actually be executing on this? How does it feel?
Yeah, I mean, it feels funny, to be honest. I think it feels like I don't know what I'm doing per se. I have a little strategy that I'm following based on some of the people we talked about before, other people, and I have a very specific post that I essentially almost copied that got me tons of views and stuff. So I am following a strategy, but it does also feel a little just surreal that it's wow, this is how people do it. It's they just kind of share what they're doing. They share transparently, they share honestly. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do. And for some reason that's resonating.
Does it feel weird to have 10,000, 100,000 people viewing your face in your app? Does it feel almost scary?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was almost going to ask you the same question. How does it feel to have hundreds of thousands? I have 1,400 followers. That was a couple weeks ago. It was 500. And in this span, I'm almost overwhelmed. I've got a bunch of DMs. That notification button is always on, so it's a little nerve wracking.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I'm a doxxed or anything like that. Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, it's a little weird. It's very, very, very weird.
Yeah, you get very used to it. But I mean, these are the glory days right now. You can do no wrong, right?
True.
You're just building your cool little app, and you're making a few dollars, and everyone's going to support you and cheer you on. And then eventually you get to MySpace where anything that I say, I'll be canceled.
Yeah, it's true. It is funny to get some comments. I have gotten a few, especially on one of my posts that really blew up. The skeptics and haters always come out. Yeah. And it's always funny to read those and be like, what are you talking about, man? They're that's not at all.
What did you feel? Because when I first got the hater comments, they definitely lived rent free for a little bit.
I mean, I feel I wanted to respond to all of them and be like, no, that's not what I meant. Or let me give you all the context of what I was actually thinking. But eventually it just got too much. And I was like, whatever, let it fall where they may. And it did live a little in my head. Or there's an addiction that kind of is odd to see that notification button and you're getting all these messages. And it feels good. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It feels really good.
And you probably got some people who followed you and that sort of thing, getting the dopamine rushes of that sort of thing.
Yep. Or people that I've been following who comment on my stuff and it's hey, that's cool. And I'm like, oh, you saw that? How did you see that?
Yeah.
I think you've told a story one time about, or maybe some guy we interviewed before that they were oh yeah, when Levels commented on my stuff, it was an amazing feeling. And I didn't get that, unfortunately. But some other little good dudes that I've been following that commented and I was oh, that feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it's all about. That's it's better than even making sales, is the people that you're never going to forget the people and how they made you feel.
Yeah, for sure. And it just feels a little, I'm not saying I have a community or following. That's not what I'm saying, but it feels a little bit of that. It's oh, I see these same faces that are commenting on stuff. Yeah. And
you're kind of building a little community. You're building your story, it's inspiring. And I think that's why people keep coming back. They want to keep up with the journey. They want to see what's going to happen next.
One thing I wanted to say was like, I think before it felt hard to build in public because I wasn't like building anything. And I think that's like, it seems obvious, but it like, that's kind of like step one. I think if someone's watching this and is like, how do I do this? It's like, build something and like, and share it. You know, before I would share random ideas or random like quotes I found or whatever, which was cool. I mean, I'm into that stuff. But now that I actually had something to share, it makes it just 100 times easier to be like, well, I'm going to share my experience with this or like how I ran into that. I mean, again, I know it sounds obvious, but that's just not, I hadn't done anything like that before.
Yeah.
And I think that was like an unlock for me. It makes it easier when I'm sitting there thinking, what should I post about? It's a little easier instead of thinking of what random idea should I post. It's like, well, what can I post about this thing I'm doing?
Yep. I heard someone, I think it was Daniel Vassallo, who had like a Twitter kind of course or something like that. He said something really cool that always resonated with me is like the secret, as you kind of mentioned, is all you need to do is just do something cool and talk about it. So it could be building a walking app. This isn't a very complex app. This is like your first app that you're building. It's cool, right? It's way cooler than sharing a quote or something like that. Or you can go and, I don't know, build a desk or a table or something like that and document that. That's cool. People will see that and they will follow you and they will, you know, that's the secret.
If there's any like hack or unlock, that's the one. It's like build something and then you can easily talk about it if you're excited about it. And obviously if you want to. But yeah, so that's kind of how it's been going.
Cool. Well, let's dive into a few of these posts. Maybe you can break down some of these posts and we can talk about the bigger strategy and how you're thinking about things.
Yeah. So let's start with this first one here. Great freeze frame. This was like, this was a couple days after I had been posting a few things about the app or whatever, but I've been seeing these people post a lot more like videos of themselves talking about what they're doing. And so that's essentially what I did. I talked a lot about like having a shit time trying to get Cursor to build my thing and the struggle that I'm having with it or whatever. And so I think the idea behind this post is like that it feels really authentic, you know, and it does, you know, this didn't like blow up by any means, but at that time, that's probably one of the most viewed posts I had before. Yeah. And I framed it around like point of view, you're trying to do this and day, whatever, building this app. And that was another thing that we talked about previously was doing this like day 1, day 2, day 3 sort of updates. And that's kind of how I try to frame this post.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that worked about this was like the real video, talking an actual person, and then framing it around like this problem I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one that I wanted to highlight. I've been trying to do that. I did that a few other times. Like I did another video here. I ended up doing another video here. This one got a lot more views. So I did that for a couple days in a row. Yeah.
Well, I mean, go back to that one that we were looking at. It doesn't seem like it's huge right now, but 851 people saw it. What I see online sometimes, and what I think is really cool about this is that you recorded a video of yourself talking, showing your face. I think there's a lot of people online who want to build stuff, but they want to remain anonymous, right? Mm-hmm. So they have a non-profile picture. They don't have their real name in it. And maybe if they posted this, they still want to build in public, but you know, maybe they don't want their full-time job to find out or something like that.
Sure.
So they'll post it without the video or something like that. First of all, how did it feel to go and like actually record this and realize that like anybody could see this? Was it like nerve-wracking to know that you had to like put your face in there?
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could say like I did this in one take, you know, but I didn't. I did a couple of takes of like what I eventually posted, just to be honest. So yeah, maybe that was a little less authentic, I guess you could say, than this actually was. I think the reason I did this is there's been people I've been following. This guy named Yoni, he has this like big Instagram following that's pretty much just based on posting these like daily updates. He actually still has a full-time job as of this recording, and he's just sharing like these updates via video of the apps he's building. Jack Fricks, who we know has also been doing this series where he's doing these very similar types of videos. Day whatever, you know, he's talking about a bunch of other stuff. He's obviously in a different league than I am, at least at this point. So that was kind of the inspiration. And so, yeah, I do think it can still work because telling your story as an individual, it's timeless to some degree. At least that's what I think.
What would be your advice to someone to do a video like this or to do a post like this?
Just like simple updates. That's what all of these are. It's like I'm struggling. It's like a specific thing. It's like, here's my daily struggle with cursor. Here's like I'm still struggling with cursor at this point. Here's like I am like getting better at something, you know. And another, so yeah, that would be my advice, is just to like do a simple like daily little 1 minute update on what you're working on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so that'd be the first thing, and then you can just make little improvements. This was just recorded on my phone. This one was like very similar. This one I used some tool to get captions on the screen.
Right.
I did that eventually with a different video that I did, which I won't scroll up too far because I don't want to reveal everything. But like little like tweaks you can do to make just the product or the end product a little bit better.
Yeah.
Or easier to watch. And maybe that's why this one got 3,000 views versus these that got 650.
Yep.
Like maybe it's just the captions. I don't know. Maybe it's the
Yep.
content, or maybe it's just
Yep.
like feeding the algorithm multiple times that I'm doing
Yep.
this. Yeah.
Each time you post it, you learn a little thing. You create it, you go through that process of creating, and then you post it, you go through that process of seeing what worked and maybe what didn't work. And then the next one, you sort of test those theories. How can I get a little bit more? How could I be a little bit more vulnerable? How could I have a better hook? How could I, make the caption better? Oh, I add captions to it. I edit it a little bit better. And then all of a sudden you've done 30 videos like this, and then you're going viral, which probably is what you're going to share next.
Totally. Yeah. So yeah. Some subtle things, right? This one, I just kind of start, it's like I press play on my camera, nothing that interesting. Right. And then, and I'm not trying to do something crazy or whatever, but this one I have like, I'm holding a microphone. I'm not actually even speaking into that microphone.
Nice.
Like that's not plugged into anything. But as I was thinking, I was like, what's like a prop I can hold? And like, what will make it more interesting? Know? So little things like that are just like, how do you make, gosh, my face there's horrible. How do you make this like more interesting for the viewer too, as you're doing these like kind of random updates?
Yep.
For anyone watching, something they can test, not easily, but they can test, is doing this. And in some way that does set you apart. Like not everyone's doing these videos. A lot of people are doing them right now, but it's still few. And so you can set yourself apart by being the guy that puts their face online.
And you can talk about anything. You can talk about your idea that failed, or your ideas that you're thinking about. You don't have to have anything successful to do this. You can talk about what you had for breakfast. Technically, there's a way to do that.
Yeah. And at this point, I still haven't done anything. I mean, even in this video, I'm like day whatever, trying to vibe code, trying, all caps. So that's kind of one content type I think you can test.
Yeah, let's keep going. Show me some more.
So others that I tried to post about was like, I don't know, I got this kind of from you, to be honest, was this like point of view working on my computer kind of post. So I did another, just like, I mean, the title almost doesn't matter that much, but I think for some reason, these like computer posts just like get a lot of love. And I did this a couple times. I did this one, this point of view. I'll come back to this launch or whatever. I did this one. That was another point of view that showed like my app and like kind of the cursor ID up top. And then we won't get fully into this. I did another one, another like another computer point of view, another video. And then I just want to get to the last one. And then, a couple more that these are all like starting to blow up a lot more than I expected.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the like lesson there is exactly, but something about when you're building something, in my case, or in our case, like an app or something online, showing that point of view for some reason works, at least right now, or is working right now. It's been working a long time for you. It feels like those tweets always do really good.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like, I don't know, maybe it's this feeling of like, you're kind of seeing from their perspective, like what this looks like. That'd be my guess.
I don't know why it works either, but one thing I do think about is like a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
Right? Like you could have, this one you have shown right here. They don't know I'm trying to vibe code a 50K per month mobile app. You could have just said that and then had no photos, and you probably wouldn't even got a single like on it.
True.
But you're in the coffee shop You're kind of
Yeah.
playing on that meme.
Yeah.
Then you're showing off your app that you built. It's again like giving off this like this authority, or
Yeah.
like again, it's like I'm trying to do this. Here it is. Here's the code. Here's what it looks like. I'm putting
Yeah.
myself out there. And I've thought about this a little bit. Is like someone's going to hang out and look at that tweet more, and maybe go click your profile and spend a little bit more time on that tweet, literally just like watching it. And then the algorithm gods will say like, oh, this is actually something I want to show to more people. Maybe there's other people that are trying to vibe code a 50K per month mobile app. There's a lot of people out there that are trying to build stuff. And then it's just that's kind of how the algorithms work, right? People can see this and they relate to it. Oh, I'm also trying to do that. And then that tells that story. So I love, like, if you ever have a question, like, should I put an image on my tweet or not? Or should I put a video on my tweet or not? The answer is always yes. Please do that, because it probably will double, triple, 10x what happened if you didn't. So
100%.
Lots of videos.
100%. Yeah. I've been trying to do that on almost every post. Is like a picture or something. So yeah, that's the second one. Third thing I've been thinking a lot about is, and I'm kind of jumping around here, but I've been like trying to share like images of the thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
Sure.
So like showing the image here. This happens to be someone who downloaded the test flight, showing the image, the app again, the app again, the app again. I mean, it's a little bit annoying. Well, if other people post it, I'll kind of share what they did or share it again.
Well, other people are posting your app.
Yeah.
That's what we want to get to here, because that's crazy. Like,
I know
it's cool to talk about what you had for breakfast, but you're finding a way to actually incorporate the visual of your app into these tweets. And then people are seeing that and going, oh, I want to try this app too. And then they're even taking screenshots and posting it. That's insane.
Yeah.
You're building something here, this is crazy.
Yeah. That part actually was weird when I saw, I think Lazar, and I even posted this. Wow, nobody prepared me for how cool it would feel to see something I built.
Yes. This is like
crazy. Go ahead.
Just tell me how it felt to know, or to like, you see someone download your app in the analytics, and that's like, okay, someone downloaded it. But how did it feel to have someone like this show you visually or tell you, hey, I use your app? Because that's a crazy feeling, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I said this, maybe it was in a different post, I can't remember, but it was like, it's one thing to like do it on my computer, to do it on my own test phone. And then you'd be like, okay, I'm going to let other people use it, I guess. I think it works. I don't know. It's working on my phone, but is that like something special that I have on my phone that makes it work? So yeah, I think it was like I was very nervous to like get those first people and to see like when they press play, like, does it work as expected? And so far, and there's actually been a few bugs that I've run into, so I'm kind of working on fixing that. But that initial feeling was like crazy, just it's so fun. It's like fun. I guess that's probably actually the word I want to use, is to be like, oh, I made this in like my little house here in Minnesota, and I don't even know where Lazar lives. I think Florida.
Yeah,
and he's using it in Florida, and there's another guy using it. I think he's like in Europe somewhere. So that feels kind of wild.
Yeah, that's what got me hooked. Is the idea that I can build something that gives other people value, or they use it, they like it, they read it, even if it's content, even if it's an app, whatever it is. And I think that, we talk a lot about how people make a lot of money from their apps, but that's not how it starts, right? That's not how the addiction to building starts. It's like to know that you build something that other people use. That's why I think most people get into this game. The money comes after that, because you get so passionate about that. But this is what it's all about.
Yeah, that part's been like really fun to just so sort of like the image, right? And so I don't know what the lesson is there, if there is a lesson, but for me, being able to show it off, show something off, I think has, if there's been any momentum on that, I think that's been helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, I think what I want to go to next is like, so this is all, I mean, it's kind of annoying, right? Sometimes when I'm kind of scrolling through this, I'm like, God, how boring. I'm just like posting the same shit every day.
Yeah, but you have to realize that nobody's scrolling through your feed. This is something that I realized too, is that they don't view your stuff from your page. They're just seeing it come up in their feed every now and then. So they don't see it as annoying. They're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
so
know?
that is actually a good reminder. I'm scrolling obviously through my page here, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm posting another image of
And
this,
if
and
someone's that obsessed with you, then you really figured it out.
yeah, or have a problem on my hands. But yeah, okay, so where am I at now? So maybe it's just like the lead up to to like publishing. Maybe this can only be done. Actually, I don't think so. But in this initial stages, I did a few like, hey, it's coming. I'm about to submit kind of posts. I was like, I feel so stupid being nervous to press this button, which it ended up getting rejected actually a
And they
couple
gave
days
you more
later.
content, right?
Yeah, it gave me more content that it was rejected.
Wow.
Um, but I don't know, kind of it's like still building that story out, right? It's like I'm building this and the next step is publishing it and then the
Yeah.
next step is the first dollar or whatever the case may be. So yeah, that's another just it's just part of like my what I've seen other people do is they'll like just kind of share these updates and that's kind of essentially what I'm doing, but in the story of like when I'm building, okay, the natural step is publishing, and then the next step was rejection, and then obviously the next step. I think at some point I posted like that it was accepted or whatever. So yeah.
Nice.
Okay, let's jump to like the two biggest posts I've really had, to be honest. This one had like 20, almost 20,000 views. This one was, I don't know, this one I don't know if it's super, it is replicable in the sense that you can tell your story or whatever. And that's kind of exactly what I did. I just had this idea that I was like, oh, maybe I should just share a quick update of like how I got here, essentially. And I was just like, whatever. You know, I'm not gonna read the whole thing. But I was like, hey, several months ago I heard of this. I was a skeptic, but now I'm actually doing it. And you know, my only regret is that I didn't start sooner. And another like kind of POV building
Yeah.
picture. And this one kind of did really well. Way better than I expected, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I like about this one is that you didn't really have to have any success, like in terms of financially,
Sure.
right? Like you still hadn't made a dollar
Sure.
from the app yet. Technically, I don't even know if it was really totally launched at this point.
No, probably not.
But you were just kind of talking about your story. It's more your own personal transformation,
Yeah.
which is, you know, one of the most powerful things
Yeah.
that, you know, telling a story online. And I think that anybody, if they build anything, can write a tweet. You know, you got to write it in your own story and your own unique thing. Maybe for someone else, it's that they have lots of kids and they're trying to find time in the day. For someone else, they're in another country or something like that. Like, who knows? It could be anything. But this kind of idea of like showing your personal transformation is, you know, that can be, anybody can do that. And that's powerful.
Yeah. Okay. Last few examples, more, you know, more of like, you know, showing off what I did. But then I did a like essentially like a launch post, right? Where I was just like, hey, I'm launching this. I'm nervous, imposter syndrome, but here it is. And I did like a video. In hindsight, I wish I would have just done a video or just images. I think this is a little like much here if I'm like super analyzing it. But I did this video where I don't know, it got approved while I was working from somewhere. And so I loaded a quick video and then took some images of like it live on the App Store.
Yeah.
Congrats. And there it is. And so this one actually didn't blow up as much as honestly I thought it was going to. I don't know why. I just had a sense that it would, but it didn't. But then I linked, you know, to a form if someone wanted to get it for free or to the actual app itself. And then, people responded like, hey, I have your code running on my phone now. I was like, that's crazy. Nice. You know, and some other, you know, congrats or whatever. Like that was pretty awesome. So yeah, I think the lesson there obviously is just like the launch post, you know, to some degree, like is kind of important. It's something that I'll probably keep doing over and over again every time I maybe haven't. I think that's something that we saw from one of our other examples is they kept sharing. It kept feeling like they were launching something, even if there was just like an update or a minor thing they tweaked. And then,
let's get to the big kahuna.
Yeah, let's get to the big one finally. So this one got me 50,000, almost 50,000 views.
Holy smokes!
And this one, the funny thing about
some of those numbers real quick.
Yeah. So almost 50,000 views.
Even though, how many followers do you have?
At this time, when I posted this, I probably had like 1,000.
Wow.
That's 105
comments, 36 retweets. That's like when like something that like truly hits the algorithm, right?
Yeah.
It's no longer like maybe you got one good retweet or something like that. Like this actually hit the algorithm.
Yep. Absolutely. And the funniest thing about this post, in my opinion, is that I ripped it almost entirely from somebody else.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. Let me share this screen. So we talked about Sherry on the last episode. She's been building a public, her app Peak Money. Shout out Sherry. But she posted this that got a bunch of views, and it's
Nice.
just like, I vibe coded the first version of this in 3 hours. Here's my tech stack, blah blah blah. And this one blew up, and she's commented on this post saying like, I can't believe this blew up. So I thought, let's see what I can do. And so if you look at this, it's almost the exact same thing, obviously with my own like kind of personal twist in there. I vibe coded the first version of my app in 12 hours, blah blah blah. Here's my tech stack. You can just build things. So if
That's
you do a
beautiful.
side by side, it's like it's the
And
same.
it has the POV image, which is something that you've kind of been testing and iterating on, and you kind of took, because Sherry's didn't necessarily have that, right?
No, it just was the words.
Right. So you're kind of getting inspiration from someone, but also using what you've learned through, trial and error. This is kind of the beauty of posting every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this one was crazy. I mean, I got a bunch of DMs. I got obviously a bunch of comments. This was the one that was a little like, from just like a experience perspective, that it was a little overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm sure.
To be honest, it was cool and it was fun to like keep getting notifications day after day after day after day. But I was a little like, oh my gosh, like I can't respond to every comment, or I can't look at this because I don't even know where the conversation is going. I would stay close to it, but this one was a little crazy. I've never had anything like this. That was I've never had anything quite like that.
I mean, over 100 comments is a lot. Like you can't really, like your brain can't really process like talking or chatting with 100 people in the span of a couple hours.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the lesson here is like, if I have one, is obviously, like you just said, like I kind of have my unique thing that I kind of stole from you, this computer point of view. And also I kind of was inspired by someone else I saw, and so it's kind of like when we talk to founders for the main channel, sometimes they'll say things like, there was a lot of competition there. That was a great sign that I should go build a business in that space. It feels like different, but similar in the sense of like, there's people posting all the time that are blowing up. If that's your goal, why not try to like take some of what they did and make it work for you? There's got to be something. I kind of had a feeling. I was like, I think this will work because I know the others that worked.
Yep.
So that was my hypothesis, and obviously it turned out to be kind of true.
I'd love to get on that note, what is your research process for that to potentially find some ideas that work? And then on the second part of that question would be like, what's your posting strategy, and like, are you, schedule? Tell me a little bit more about that.
My strategy for finding, I don't use this as much anymore, but there was a time where I had, let me see if I could find it quick. I used to have a list. I have a cool people list.
Nice.
And these are people that I've labeled as cool. I forget exactly how I did it. You could probably search this up. Yeah. But sometimes I'll just scroll through this and see like, what are these people that I follow posting about? And sometimes I'll get inspiration from them and steal their tweets or whatever. So that's one thing I've done. That's probably the most tactical thing I've done in terms of how to like find ideas on what to post. And then, I mean, there is like a group of people that I follow kind of pretty consistently. And I'm just like always watching, what is Jack Fricks posting? What is like that guy Yoni posting? What is this guy Joshua posting? We posted a video on the channel of him last week. There's some people that I can see are doing like pretty well online from my perspective, at least. And I'll kind of just like follow a little bit of their lead. Yeah. Nice. And then in terms of a strategy, I wish I had a better one, kind of. I don't use a scheduler, at least not right now. But right now I'm really trying to do like 1 or 2 per day at least. And again, I think it's easier because I have something to share now. Before, I think I would get really stuck on, what do I share? What should I post? What's my idea for the day? And now because I have something that I'm working on, it's easy to just kind of share the same, a similar thing every day with a slightly different twist. So I think once or twice a day is what I'm trying to do and be as consistent as possible.
I
But
like
there's
that.
tools like Typefully or Hype Fury that you can use. I haven't used those yet, but maybe I
So
will.
one to two posts a day would be, maybe if you were to give advice to someone who's building something, wants to document it, maybe 1 to 2.
Yeah, 1 to 2 at least, because then you kind of stay on the feed. I think that's a big thing too, is like staying on the feed. That's got to be part of it, because then you kind of get people get used to it. They expect
Yep.
to see, for example, like we interviewed him on the channel, Alex Finn. He's another guy that I'm looking at a lot right now for like building public stuff. He's every single day sharing Creator Buddy.
Yep.
And now it's in my head. Like, this guy makes Creator Buddy. That's what
Yep.
he's known for.
Yep.
So I want to be known, at least right now,
Yep.
as the guy who's making the walking app, the beginner who's making the walking app. And that's kind of what I'm trying to talk about like every day.
Cool. The next question I have for you is, I think probably what a lot of people are wondering is like, is this actually leading to, we know people are using your app.
Yeah.
So we kind of already have proof of that. But do you have anything you can share? I know that you're working on another video for the Starter Story Build channel. But is there anything you can share in terms of like your expectations versus downloads, anything there? Sales?
Yeah, that's a great point, and like that's probably the main point is, and you've talked about this before, which is a difference between like almost vanity metrics. It's cool to get 50,000 views, but does it really mean anything? I have made some sales, so I think I can show this hopefully without sharing like anything crazy. But since I launched, quote unquote, launched on July 12th.
Yep.
I don't know how someone had bought it before that, but on July 12th I launched, and I got like 1 sale that day, 5 sales the next day, 3, 2, and that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So I got just enough to pay for 1 month of Cursor. So yeah, there have been some results, as you can see. I don't think I get any sales if I'm not posting something on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of these have come from my posts on Twitter, but obviously it hasn't been like thousands or hundreds or whatever.
Yep.
I don't think I expected that, because, not everyone who's like following me is wanting to buy the app per se. They're probably more interested in like, hey, it's like a beginner dude who's building stuff, kind of inspo porn thing. But certainly I've gotten some sales purely off of Twitter.
I mean, the fact that you made sales in day one is very impressive. I know the number $20 or whatever doesn't feel big, but that's more than probably 99% of people can say is, they either launch the app and they just make it free and they get like a lot of users, but you actually made money on the first day, which is really super rare. I remember, if I think about how long it took me to make my first dollar on Starter Story, even it was 3-4 months. So, it just goes up from there. This is a useful app that you're going to make improvements on. You're going to document those improvements. You're going to build more features. That's going to attract more people to sign up. Then you're going to get ranked in the App Store. People are going to search 10,000 steps. They're going to find yours. They may buy it. You may rethink the monetization model of it. There's still so much to do. So
yeah, and that's the crazy part, I think, is, and I feel like I've heard other people say this, but it feels like I'm just starting now. And I'm still at the starting line of what this could be, or whether it's this or whether the next thing. And I think before I thought the end was launching, but it's really, I feel like I'm just starting, and that's kind of, it's exciting. It's all the features I could do, or all the different ways I could try to run this version of the app to the end of the line until I build a different version, which I'm already doing. But yeah, that's kind of a fun way to think about it, is there's always like a new starting point to some degree.
Yeah. Cool, man.
So yeah, amazing. I mean, it's been fun. It's been crazy. It feels weird. I told my wife, like, hey, I got like, this post blew up, and she was like, what are you doing online? And I was like, it's just X.
Does it feel like something you want to, we kind of did this as an experiment. Does it feel like it's something for you want to keep doing?
Oh, for sure. I want to keep doing it. It's fun. And I think that's what I wrote on. I try to be like super inspirational on one of these posts, but I said something like, I'll build 100 things by the time I'm done with it. And I think that feels really true. Is that I feel like I have a lot of ideas now. Like, oh, I want to do this thing that would help me, and maybe that'll help somebody else. And I feel like that's kind of, Like, I
Where
think you've said
before,
that there's like an addicting part to it. That's like, I have these
before you
ideas
didn't
and
really have any concrete ideas, but the process of building this, now you have so many ideas, you don't know what to do with them. You feel almost overwhelmed by your ideas, right?
100%. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I got this. I wish I could do that, or I wish I had time for that, or wouldn't
Yeah.
it be cool if, I think a recent video we said, some guy said something like that. Like, it started with a simple idea, and then he thought, wow, it'd be cool if it did this. And that's kind of where I feel like I'm at. So yeah, I definitely want to keep doing it. It's fun. I see why people like it from a like ego perspective to some degree, but from like just a, like, I wish I could really encapsulate, like, I've been watching all this stuff for years. I'm on Twitter. I've been on Twitter for a long time, and I've always been a little jealous or a little like skeptical. And I'm not, I haven't done anything, right? But I see the beginnings of it, and I'm like, oh, that's all they were probably doing, was just like sharing an idea. It's not rocket science to some degree. There's some tweaks and some things you can do, etc. But it's better than like watching from the sidelines. I think my experience of Twitter is like way better or way different, for example, now, because I'm doing stuff versus just like doom scrolling.
Yeah. There's like 95% of people online or just in the world are kind of consuming. 5% are maybe creating. Is it more fun? You've gone from more of the consumption, I was there too, to now you're the creator of the content, the creator of the apps. Does it feel better to be on that side?
Oh, 100%. So fun. It's fun. Yeah, it's fun to have something to talk about. It's fun to have the comments and the people I get to connect with, and all the DMs I didn't show you, that are just like, hey, that's cool. Or like, I had some guy DM me, he's like, hey, you're taking feedback on the app? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Nice.
Tell me. That's for another episode. But so stuff like that is like really fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I got something to show you. Which is actually kind of random, but also super related. And that's why I really wanted to do this podcast too and talk about your experience building in public. We had that video that did really well. People love that video. Why aren't you building in public? And I just keep seeing this over and over. I feel like building in public is this crazy hack. You are proof of that. And I've been working on something, and it's not really super related to what you've been doing, or it's not because of what you've been doing, but I've also been seeing the power of building in public. And I've been working on a build in public app as part of the 100K build challenge, which will have a video coming out soon on that. But I'll share my screen real quick. So it's called gobuildinpublic.com. And this is live right now for anybody who's watching this right now. And basically I thought, okay, this build in public thing clearly works, but there's definitely like a learning curve on how to put together these tweets. Although, they do kind of all kind of fit into a structure. So I thought, what if we build an AI tool that will give you a 30-day series of build in public tweets for what you're building. So you go in there and you give it all your information, what you're building, what's unique about you, what's your biggest challenge, what are your biggest fears, and it pops out based on a bunch of data that we trained it on. We trained it on all these we have like hundreds of build in public tweets that we trained it on, and it will give you for $19, because it does cost money to generate these tweets, and we're using some a little bit powerful models for this. It generates all these tweets for you, or at least gives you a strategy and a place to start on that. And it's funny because you were pretty much doing this yourself. What do you think about this? I can walk through it a little bit more, but first, what's your first impression of this idea?
I mean, it's almost like one of those things where I'm like, cool, I wish you would have built this like a month ago.
Yeah.
Because it would have given me, it'd be cool if you could show a little more. Yeah. And you did show me a little bit the other day, and it was awesome. I mean, it's really cool. I actually think it's really awesome, and it's totally something I would have paid for. I mean, $19, almost a no-brainer.
Yeah, right. The other thing that I thought was cool too is we do a guarantee. So I think I believe this is going to work. I believe this works as long as you give it a fair try. You post it, you do it authentically to yourself. You actually build something cool, like you're saying. You got to actually still do something. If you don't get at least 10,000 impressions on your tweets, which you should definitely get by 30 days, I'll just refund you. Yeah. And that's a good way for me to like make sure that the product actually works, make sure it's, give that guarantee, because I really do think that it works. So I can dive a little bit more into it. I will go, I got this idea from a resume builder app that was making like 20K a month or something like that. I was like, okay, well, how can you build the resume builder app in, you know, our lane, our niche, which is, you know, people who are building apps and stuff like that. So you can click here, and then it's got a whole form. So it's going to ask you what your name is. I'll put my name in here, and I'll put my Twitter handle, I'll put my bio in there.
Yeah, I would say I could show mine because you shared this with me a little earlier today. And
Sure, yeah. Why don't you do it with you? That would be perfect.
So yeah, it's like put my name, what I'm doing, what I'm building. So that's, you know, that's awesome. What I'm building, status of the project, what's my goal? You know, I have certain goals that I put in there. Who am I talking to? So I kind of made up a little bit of who I think the audience is. This part's really fun. Like, let's get personal. Like, why are you doing this? What's your biggest challenge? I thought this was cool because it was like, I don't know, like that human element like has to be part of social media. I think that's what will resonate with people. So I thought like this stuff would be cool. And then anything you didn't want to talk about, I said like politics. And nice. Then generate tweets. And here we go. Okay, so it generates this 30-day strategy, you know, gives me some advice. 4 weeks, post daily updates, visually showcase your app, promo codes, referral programs. And then what I thought was really awesome was, this is cool. I mean, this is like 30 days of posts to share, you know, or whatever number here it is right now. I thought that was like, you can export them, you can copy, you can regenerate. And like I said, I wish this was something that I could, that could have used.
Yeah. Even just to give you some ideas on days when you know, didn't have, you know, a piece of content that you fully clear. You just go here, get some ideas, and it's really endless with I trained it with a ton of build in public posts because we've actually been saving those in our database whenever we see them. And actually, I even trained it on a couple of yours. So I think that's even
awesome.
cooler.
Yeah, this is really cool. So I'm about it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Cool. So if anyone's watching this, you think that's cool, you want to try it out, please give it a try. Let me know if you liked it, what you would improve about it. I'm going to be launching this, I think today actually, on Twitter. So definitely going to get a bunch of feedback on it. I think it's super cool. And again, you'll get your money back if you don't get results from it. So
yeah.
Hopefully we can keep building on that and keep evangelizing the build in public thing. I think it's so powerful.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing the last couple of weeks.
Well, you're crushing it, man. Thank you for sharing everything so transparently. Hopefully, if you're still watching this by this point, you've been convinced that build in public is the way to go. Build something cool and just share those magic moments that happen every day, random stuff. Not everything's going to go viral, but then, you know, you get something like that last post that we shared, which was amazing. Thank you guys for watching. I mean, I think it's amazing that just a few months ago or a couple of weeks ago, I challenged you to the $1 challenge. You had never built an app before. You don't have software experience. You learned Cursor. You built a couple apps that just totally didn't work. Like, you know, you had to restart multiple times, I think. And then finally you actually shipped it to an app to Test Flight. And then you shipped an app to the App Store and actually got approved, which is insane to me. This is, I guess, dog fooding our own product. Starter Story Build is really, really about having people like you or people who haven't built something before or with limited tech experience. This is the power of AI tools. You can build stuff. You can just do things, as you said, and here's the proof. So thank you guys for watching the Starter Story podcast. We will keep coming back with updates. Keep an eye on the $1 challenge, which Gus is releasing on the YouTube channel. Follow his X. I'll be releasing my 100K challenge video coming up soon. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.